ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय
वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय
सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ
सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ
निर्विघ्नं
निर्विघ्नं
कुरु मे
कुरु मे
देव
देव
सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
सर्वदा
सरस्वती
सरस्वती
नमस्तुभ्यं
नमस्तुभ्यं
वरदे
वरदे
कामरूपिणी
कामरूपिणी
विद्यारम्भं
विद्यारम्भं
करिष्यामि
करिष्यामि
सिद्धिर्भवतु मे
सिद्धिर्भवतु मे
सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा
ब्रह्मा
गुरुर्विष्णुः
गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो
गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः
गुरुः
साक्षात्
साक्षात्
परं
ब्रह्म
ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
गुरवे नमः।
ॐ
ॐ
सहना भवतु
सहनौ
सहनौ
भुनक्तु
भुनक्तु
सह
सह
वीर्यं
वीर्यं
करवावहै
करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ
ॐ
शान्ति शान्ति
शान्ति
शान्तिः।
शान्तिः।
Now the fourth chapter of the Gita begins. Last chapter was Karma Yoga. This chapter is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, knowledge and the renunciation of action. Chapter 4. The origins of Karma Yoga. In the first three verses of the fourth chapter, this chapter, Bhagavan sums up the subject matter of Karma Yoga by indicating to Arjuna that it is not something new. Meaning the topic of Karma Yoga, what Bhagavan taught to Arjuna, is not new. It has been there since beginninglessly. Meaning since the creation, Srishti was started. From that time onwards, it is there. It is there. Krishna as a Lord had initiated in the beginning of creation. And since then, Karma Yoga has been handed out from generation to generation, from parampara to parampara, even though it has not always been well preserved. That is why he says, in course of time, it was lost. And again, some great people, the tradition comes and revive it. So, like Vyasacharya, an important a link in the parampara, because of whom again the Vedas and the tradition was revived. Vyasacharya is an important link. Shankaracharya is an important link. In the parampara, whenever this knowledge seems to be going away, that time a great person comes and revive it. It has happened before, and Vyasacharya is very well known because he came and he compiled the Vedas which were scattered and made it sure that it was handed over from generation to generation. And he not only compiled the Vedas, he had written 20 Puranas, Brahma Sutra, etc. Similarly, Shankaracharya, who came after so many years, thousands of years after him, Vyasacharya period and all, we don't know. But Shankaracharya's period, it is said he came around in the 9th or 8th century. So he came and he wrote Bhashyas and again revived the tradition. Therefore, there are important links. The links in the tradition become stronger because of such great personalities. That is why he says, even though it has not been well preserved, some entropy happens. It's natural to happen. To become a sannyasi requires a mature and contemplative disposition. You cannot simply decide to be mature or contemplative. Yes, the person has to grow to be a contemplative person and cannot choose to become. Maturity also. Either you are or you are not. Experience gives you maturity and you slowly grow to be a contemplative person. So therefore, you cannot choose. You become over a period of time. So what you can do, however, is to live a life. You live your life in such a way that you can gain a contemplative disposition. That is karma yoga. So the means for gaining the contemplative disposition is karma yoga. In order to gain atma jnanam, which is moksha or liberation, you have to recognize your nature as being free from action. Agam akarta atma. Agam atma. Atma is not karta. So agam atma is agam akarta. As that which is the very center of the center of the entire creation, the reality of everything. Agam atma. And in order for this recognition to take place, this jnana to take place, somebody uses the word recognition because you don't become Brahma. You recognize yourself to be Brahma. You don't become Atma. You discover yourself to be that what you want to be. That's why recognition. Therefore, in order for this recognition to take place, you can live a life of sannyasa or live a life of karma yoga. Nishtadvayam, two types of lifestyles. Karma yoga is engaging yourself in activities with a proper attitude. Pravritti lakshanaha yogaha and nivritti lakshanaha yoga is sannyasa. In the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, in the Upodgata Bhashyam, Acharya says that Bhagavan, in the beginning, he created two yoga, Pravritti Lakshana Yoga and Nivritti Lakshana Yoga iti. Pravritti Lakshana Yoga means the yoga, that is Karma Yoga, which is engaging in activities, karma. Karma with the proper attitude. Karma without attitude is not yoga. Attitude is appreciating the one has appreciating the Ishvara. One has to be aware of the Ishvara. So one has to acknowledge Ishvara. That is the proper attitude. Proper attitude, we say Karma Yoga. What is that attitude? One has to acknowledge the all intelligence, the all knowledge, Ishvara. Therefore, Ishvara Arpana Buddhihi, Prasada Buddhihi. Karma, what is done is for the Lord. It is an offering to the Lord. And whatever comes as the result, that is accepted as prasada, reverentially, gracefully it is accepted. That is the attitude. And sannyasa or jnana yoga is the renunciation of all activities. Nivritti lakshanaha. One is pravritti, other one is nivritti. Pravritti, nivritti, nirvritti. Sorry, nivritti, not nirvritti. Nirvritti is different. Nirvritti again becomes engaging. Nivritti, nivritti, nivritti. Vritti means function, action. With the pravritti means action. Nivritti means disengaging. That is sannyasa. Engaging and disengaging. So growth is by two lifestyles. One is engaging, other one is disengaging. Growth. First, in the beginning is pravritti. At later stage, it is nivritti. So pravritti, nivritti. Pravritti, nivritti. Thus, nivritti lakshana jnana yoga is for the sannyasis and pravritti lakshana karma yoga is for everyone else. Pravritti lakshana karma yoga. Nivritti Lakshana Yaha, Nivritti Lakshana, even when we say Nivritti Lakshana, Nivritti from karma and pravritti towards jnana. In fact, it is Nivritti Lakshana means Nivritti from karma, engaging in action. That is disengagement from engaging in action. That is Nivritti. Therefore, pravritti is that towards what? Jnana. That is Jnana Yoga. Therefore, Jnanam, therefore sannyasis. That is for the sannyasis. And Pravritti Lakshana Yoga, Karma Yoga for everyone else. This twofold yoga is all that is intended to be unfolded throughout the Gita. In fact, Krishna already completed the teaching in the second and the third chapters. Knowing that he had taught all that had to be taught, Krishna now praises this yoga, telling Arjuna that what he had taught him was something very old, puratanaha, ancient, introduced by himself as Ishvara. Again, Krishna says, I introduced that in the beginning, meaning in the Veda. Then Arjuna asks question, how that you would have introduced, so that we will see. Arjuna raises a doubt. There is a chronological discrepancy. You said you taught in the beginning. How can you could have teach? You could have taught this in the beginning. That's question he asks. We'll see that the shloka question of Arjuna is going to come later. Fine. Now, from teacher to student, sampradaya. In order to convey that this knowledge is something that is to be gained from a teacher by a student, who in turn hands down to other student, a story is told. Sampradaya, it's called sampradaya. Samyak pradiyate, anena iti, sampradaya. That which is well handed over down the tradition. That's called sampradaya. A story is told. In understanding realities, it really doesn't matter who told whom. Nevertheless, certain names are mentioned. Even in Mundaka Upanishad, it is there. Story is there. The names are there. The flow downward from one generation to another is called sampradaya. Parasmat, Guroho, Avarena, Shishyena, Avarena, Parasmat, Guroho, from the Guru, who is Paraha. Parasmat, Guroho, Avarena, Shishyena, Vidya, Praptaya Vidya. Prapta, Shishyena Praptayaha, Ya Vidya, Sa Vidya, Paravara Vidya. In Mundaka Upanishad, it comes Paravara. With the Vidya is called Paravara. And the Sampradaya is called, and the tradition is called Sampradaya. Sampradaya handles over the knowledge. The knowledge is called Paravara Vidya. The Paravara Vidya that is handed over by the system, that arrangement, that's called Sampradaya. Guru Shishya, that is the arrangement. That is called Sampradaya. Therefore, the Sampradaya is important. This Sampradaya is important because this teaching has to be handled by someone who knows what it is all about. Therefore, Sampradaya is always introduced either in the beginning or at the end of the text. A story, so what is a story? It's not a story. It is a mentioning of the teachers, the tradition. In Mundaka Upanishad also it is told in the beginning, Brahma Devanam Pratamas Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhavanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidya Padishtam Atarvaya Jeshta Putraya Praha iti, the parampara is told. Brahma taught it to Atharvana, Atharva then taught to Angiras, Angiras taught to Bharadvaja, otherwise Bharadvaja is called Satyavaha, another name. Then Bharadvaja taught to Angiras, then Angiras taught to Shaunaka iti, the tradition. Similarly, here also one lineage is taught. That is the story. There is no other story. Seeing the dialogue reaching a certain completeness, Krishna presents the sampradaya and praises the knowledge. The reason for mentioning the sampradaya is to praise the knowledge, as it is done in Mundaka Upanishad. Vidyastuti, the Vidya is praised through praising the sampradaya, through sampradaya. Vidyastuti is done through is done through is done by the mentioning of the sampradaya. So when sampradaya is told, the knowledge is so ancient, so old. So down the line, it has been preserved and handed over. So it is Guru Shishya Parampara. Therefore, it is praised. It is not an ordinary knowledge. It has its sanctity. It has been handed over the tradition, and it has come from so many thousands of years before it has been handed over. So that is praise. This knowledge without undergoing any disintegration. The knowledge as it is handed over. So therefore, if that is so, then how much great must be the knowledge? How much important must be that knowledge? So that is Vidyastuti, praising the knowledge. So knowledge is praised through mentioning the names of the teachers and the Shishyas and the Sampradaya. So that is what he does in the first shloka of this chapter. Let us read. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvasya
Imam Vivasvate Yogam.
Imam Vivasvate Yogam
Proktavanahamavyayam.
Proktavanahamavyayam
Vivasvan Manave Praha.
Vivasvan Manave Praha
Manorakshvakave Bravita.
Manurikshva Kave Bravid
Evam Parampara Praptam.
Evam Parampara Praptam
Imam Rajarshayo Viduhu.
Imam Rajarshayo Viduhu
Sakale Neha Mahata.
Sakale Neha Mahata
Yogo Nashtah Parantapa.
Yogo Nashtha Parantapa
Imam Vivasvate Yogam Aham Proktavan. This yoga, Imam Yogam, to Vivasvan, I taught. Aham Proktavan. Who says Bhagavan? Krishna says. Bhagavan says, Bhagavan is Krishna here. So is Krishna as Ishvara, he says. Aham, this Avyayam, the subject matter is Atma. Therefore, Atma is Avyayam, doesn't subject to any change. Avyayam, imperishable, Aksharam. Therefore, Avyayam. This yogam I taught to Vivasvan. Vivasvan is Surya Bhagavan. Vivasvan. Vivasvan. His son is Vaivasvata. That is Yamadharmaraja. That is why in the Kathopanishad, in the beginning of the Kathopanishad, in the beginning, Acharya, in this Shankaracharya, in his commentary to Kathopanishad, in the beginning, he offers namaskara to the teacher and the student by saying, Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketase Cha Vaivasvataya Bhagavate Bhagavan Vaivasvata. Vaivasvata is a son of Vivasvan. Vivasvan is Surya. Therefore, his son is Vaivasvata, that is Mrityu Devata. Surya Devata's son is Mrityu Devata. Surya Devata is Vivaswan. So to him I taught. And Surya Devata he taught. Okay. That is in the Kathopanishad, Vaivasvata. Here it says Vivaswan taught to Manu. Taught to his son Manu. Manu is also son of Surya Devata. Vivaswan taught to Manu. Manu taught to Ikshvaku. Ikshvakave. Vivasvate Chaturthi Bhakti. Manave Chaturthi. Ikshvakave Chaturthi. To whom then it is given, the karma, the palam, the object, not palam, the object is given. That's called Sampradana, Sampradana Karaka. You have seen Sampradana Karaka. The object to whom the recipient of the object meaning the Karaka, Karma Karaka, to whom it is given, that is called Sampradana. So Sampradana, yes, Sampradana Karaka, Vivasvate, Manave, Manuhu Ikshvakave. So Manuhu taught to Ikshvaku. Under Ikshvaku dynasty only Rama came. The Rama, Ikshvaku dynasty. It's called Surya Vamsha. Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha, two dynasties, important dynasties. So Rama came under Surya Vamsha. Now, here, this handing over the knowledge is mentioned to whom it was handed over. Bhagavan taught to Vivaswan. Vivaswan taught to Manu. Therefore, Vivaswan becomes a guru and Manu becomes a student. And Vivaswan becomes a teacher, Manu becomes a student, and Manu becomes a teacher and Ikshvaku becomes a student. So like that it was handed over. But Vivaswan taught to Manu and Manu taught to Ikshvaku. This is father-son. They have father-son relationship. Therefore, father playing the role of the guru, taught to his son, to the sons. So therefore, father-son relationship. Evam parampara praptam imam. This yoga which has been paramparaya praptam, which has been gained, which has been handed over, passed on from generation to generation. That is why this knowledge is called Paravara Vidya. Rajarshayoho Viduhu, Rajarshihi, Rajacha, Rishicha. They are kings and as well as a Rishi. They are Rajarishis. They are Kshatriya, at the same time they are knowledgeable Rishis. They know this knowledge because the kings who are ruling, they are all knowledgeable people. They are all jnanis. Therefore, Rajarshayaha Viduhu. But what happened? Over a period of time, Saha, Yogaha, Magata Kalena, Magata, long period of time. Over a long period of time, Nashtaha Bhavat, it is lost. So, Shri Bhagavan said, I taught this imperishable yoga to Vivaswan. Vivaswan taught it to Manu. Manu taught it to Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku. Handed over from generation to generation. Paramparaya, imam, praptam, imam, yokam. And this, the king who was sages knew it. The kings who are ruling the kingdom, and they are rishis also. Therefore, two in one. They are knowledgeable, at the same time, they are kings. In fact, a king should be knowledgeable. Then only he can do the ruling properly. Like Janaka. Janaka is a jnani. At the same time, he was doing the job of ruling. He was a ruler, able ruler. Some jnanis, they completely detached from the society. They live a life. They will live a life somewhere away from the society or in the forest or in the way society not doing anything. But some jnanis, they continue to play the role, play the role what they were doing. So Janaka being born in the Kshatriya family, then in the hierarchy of the kings, therefore, Having gained knowledge, he continued ruling during the country. Therefore, there were people like that before Rajarshi. Therefore, Rajarshi, they know it. So, therefore, here, one important thing to be noted: this knowledge was transferred. You see, the tradition is Kshatriya tradition. The rulers were having this knowledge. Vivaswan taught to Manu, Manu taught to Ikshvaku, Ikshvaku the king. So, therefore, it was handed down in the tradition that Kshatriya parampara. It is not Brahmana parampara, it is Kshatriya parampara. Brahmana parampara may be there, but here it is Kshatriya parampara is mentioned. Kshatriya parampara. Kshatriyas were ruling the kingdom at the same time that they were jnanis. But what happened with the long lapse of time? Oh Arjuna, this yoga has declined in the world. This yoga has declined. Not that yoga has been tampered. Yoga just cannot be tampered. Knowledge cannot be tampered. This yoga, because people were interested in artha and kama more than moksha, therefore their pravritti was towards artha purushartha and moksha purushartha. Artha and artha pradhana purusha. Artha became pradhanam for them. Kama became pradhanam for them, not moksha. Therefore, people were not interested. Therefore, this yoga found found a declined, not disappeared. It was there here and there. Some people, some mumukshus were pursuing it. Therefore, this nashtaha bhavat over a period of time. This supposed to happen. This is how it is. Here, Krishna tells Arjuna that he was the one who had introduced this knowledge in the Vedas in the beginning itself. Bhagavan taught in the beginning means through the Vedas only. When the creation started, the creation was Srishtam when it was created. Along with the tradition, creation comes the Veda. So Bhagavan had given this knowledge through the Vedas. Meaning along with the creation through Vivaswan, the head of the solar clan, Surya Vamsha, solar dynasty. So Vivaswan belongs to Surya Vamsha. There was another clan, lunar clan, Chandra Vamsha. So Ramayana, that is, which tells the story of Rama, the Rama who comes under Surya Vamsha, and Mahabharata talks about the kings who comes under the Chandra Vamsha, lunar clan. The Mahabharata was an epic about the lunar clan, and Ramayana was about the solar clan. Two important Vamsha dynasties, ancient dynasty. Vivaswan is also a name given to the sun as a deity, Surya Devata. Krishna is saying here that this knowledge has come down from Ishvara alone, referring to himself as a Lord. I taught means not as a son of the Vasudeva, but as Ishvara. I taught, he says. It is not something that is created by a given intellect, nor is it mere speculation. It is a knowledge that comes down from Ishvara along with the creation. Creation also. Creation is not something newly something is created. Creation nothing but manifestation. Manifestation and unmanifestation, again manifestation and manifestation. So creation is nothing but manifestation. It goes to Sukshma Avastha and then again comes to manifestation, creation. This is called cycle. Abhyaktadi bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata abhyakta nadani eva iti, it comes in the Gita. So beings comes to manifestation and beings goes to unmanifestation. So when the creation nothing but manifestation of this Jagat with the beings. Along with that, Veda also come. So Veda is not something again newly created. Veda has got Pravaga Nityatva. It is perennial. It has got perennial reality. When the creation comes, along with the creation, Veda comes. It has perennial reality. Pravaga Nityatva. So therefore, through the Veda, Bhagavan had taught this knowledge. The difference is knowledge and the other revealed bodies of knowledge is that it is something to be recognized. That's the difference. It is knowledge that I am the whole. So that is, therefore it has been discovered. Any other form of revelation requires you to believe something. Some kind of a promise is always given, if only with reference to an afterlife. However, in the knowledge that I am the whole, there is no promise involved. Not that you will become the whole. You are the whole. That's why it is a revelation. It is not something to be believed. It is a knowledge to be recognized, to be discovered. The statement you are that tatutvam asi is not a promise. It's not you become that. You are that. Even though we say Brahmavitt Brahmaiva Bhavati, Bhavati dhatu we use. Bhavati Bhudhatu means become, to become. But it's not becoming. Being Brahma, a person recognizes himself to be Brahma. You don't become Brahma. That you are Brahma is a simple statement of fact. Just as a statement, water is H2O and it boils at 100 degrees centigrade at atmospheric pressure. It's a fact and not a promise. Because it is a statement of fact, your Brahma is something that is to be understood. A statement of fact is verifiable knowledge. It is not something to be believed, as is the case with other forms of revealed bodies of knowledge. So statement of fact is verifiable. There is no belief involved in that. You must know, however, that these other revelations are also talking about the same reality. Thus, there is no problem. It is all the Lord's knowledge. Because knowledge is not something that belongs to any one particular person or culture. It is the knowledge of Ishvara. It is Ishvara's knowledge. This twofold yoga, sannyasa and karma yoga, was initiated by Krishna as Ishvara in the beginning through Vivaswan, the head of the Surya Vamsha. Therefore, he says, Vivasvate aham proktavan. I taught this to Vivaswan. Lord Son is introduced here to convey the idea that this particular knowledge comes from Ishvara. Then, by the grace of the Lord's Son, it was handed over to his son Manu. Son taught to his son Manu, who was the first king, the lawgiver for humanity. Manu taught to his son. Manu taught his own son. Manu gave this knowledge to his own son, Ikshvaku. In turn, Manu taught his own son, Ikshvaku. Okay, we'll stop here. Self-knowledge doesn't go away. Even though Nashtaha Abhavat, it, it doesn't go away completely. Some seemingly disappearance. Not completely it goes away. So this knowledge, it's a state, it is about oneself. How can it go away? So some entropy, some disinterest prevailed with regard to the pursuit of this knowledge among the majority of the people. But there are always some people who pursue this knowledge. Therefore, it doesn't go away completely. So we'll stop here. We'll read this in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Dhanyavadaha.